Next company is Sakar Healthcare Limited.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Alpha Ideas. Thank you, NSE. Thank you, all of you, respected investors, strategists, and analysts. I will represent here Sakar Healthcare Limited. My name is Bikramjit. I am having the strategy and business development portfolio for the company. So this is a journey of around 20 years for the company. So, hello, am I audible? Yeah, it's a 20 years journey for the company. So I will try to make it more interesting, and whatever the salient features, development, and trigger points are, I will try to highlight it during my presentation. This presentation is already available on the site, so you can refer it there also. So the company has been established in 2004 in Ahmedabad. The name is Changodar in Gujarat. It started as a CMO organization, which is the contract manufacturing for different multinational companies, and gradually diversified into other business models, including exports. The product pipelines, which basically has been covered, is liquid injectables, that is in vials and ampoules. This is the sterile preparation, added on with the lyophilized injections and vials in later half of around 2016. Oral solid, that is tablet, capsule, and syrup forms, oral solids, dry powder syrups, as well as dry powder injections. So the product lines are diverse, which covers around 175 product portfolios in the pharmaceutical range, with 292 market authorizations or overseas registrations. These are in all countries apart from India, and covering more than 24 therapeutic categories, because this is how the width of the overall bandwidth of the overall product range we are having. And currently the company has is spread across more than 60 countries worldwide, including Southeast Asia, Latin America, Africa, as well as Europe. Now in FY21, the company has forayed into the segment of oncology, which is a separate unit altogether, considering the cytotoxic nature of the product. And another important milestone what we have achieved is migration from the SME to the main board in 2019. So this is how the overall company has shaped up in last 20 years. Now, present status, if we consider, this slide will give you the overall idea. The ICRA rating, as well as the 450 workforce presently working in 2 operating units, that is the general category as well as the oncology unit. Presence in 60 plus countries with 175 formulations, 292 registered products, 24 therapeutics. Total shareholding of the promoters presently is around 64.5%, 79 plus overseas partners who are working with these Sakar products. The growth rate, EBITDA as well as PAT margin year over year as well as CAGR has been mentioned, so you can have a look. Now, I will try to cover the business overview in a nutshell. This is the transformation of the business model which has happened in the past 5 to 6 years' time. Earlier, if you see, the business vertical contribution was predominantly a CDMO business or CMO business, or the loan license business, which is the job work we normally call the CCPC conversion. So the business model has shifted from 53% international business or exports to presently 73%. So this is one of the major transformation which company has bring in the last 5 years journey. Now, as the model has transferred, the overall CAGR has increased by 25% for the export business model, which you can see here. Already I have mentioned the regions which are being covered. Added to that, the oncology portfolio, which will be also covering the different segment of injectables, oral solids, lyophilized injections. So that will gear up the overall export business that we are looking forward to. Now, in the present business, this is the 24 therapeutic categories in which presently 175 formulations are there. So as I mentioned already, this is the diverse portfolio with which Sakar has been working in the past 5-6 years. Now, formulation segmentation, if I consider, so injectable, the sterile part, which is the most critical in any pharmaceutical formulations, because if you get general tablets, capsule, it becomes easier. But once you go into the sterile formulations, The important part which comes into picture is maintaining the aseptic condition and the quality standard which the international regulatory bodies want, including Europe. So that considered to be around 68%, with 60% coming from the European GMP approved unit of Sakar that manufactures the liquid and lyophilized injection. 25% is coming from the OSD part, and top 10 molecules is contributing around 45% of the overall business. So the key molecules has already been mentioned here in each of the segment in which Sakar is there. I'm running through this slide first. Now, if you see the formulation segment in value in lakhs rupees, this is the growth in the last 5 years for individual segment, where you can see the lyophilized injection has significantly given the growth, which is one of the value-added injectable product, because these are techno-rich products, where it is a freeze-dried product basically, and that increases the stability and efficacy of any of the formulation in that particular medication. Liquid injection plant, as I told you, is the European GMP approved unit, which has already been geared up, and that is one of the USP for the company. Regarding the CDMO and the CMO part, these are our esteemed partners with whom we have been working for last around 15-16 years or so. You can see all the big names in the Indian pharmaceutical industry, most of them ranked on the top 10 or top 20 in them, and big brands of theirs are getting manufactured in our plant. And few of the companies are also associated with us in terms of their research and development. So they are developing the products there, and they are asking for the manufacturing of the products. So that is a backward integration, how it is helping us. Now this is another slide which will speak how we are spread across 60 countries. We have 16 approvals apart from European GMP. On the left-hand side, you can see the chart. So these regulatory bodies have to approve our plant so that we can export the products, which comprises presently around 76% of the total revenue of the company. So these are important accreditations which we have gathered maybe in over a period of last 10 to 12 years time. And out of which you can see that 85% of the contribution is coming from the 15 countries in FY22. Now, regarding a little bit about the capacity, because once we are talking about technology as well as how the products are performing, we should talk about how the equipments and what is the current capacity what we are utilizing. We are having a capacity utilization presently of 67% working with one shift. This is a block-wise or the formulation type-wise breakup, where you can see that our main focus is the injectable part, where we are getting the maximum demand as well as the maximum recognition. So that is the area where we are trying to gear up as well. Now this is the leadership of the board members. You have Mr. Sanjay Shah as the chairman and MD. His son is Mr. Asha. Both of them are actively involved in the business in terms of strategy, operations as well as financials. Mr. Sanjay Shah's wife is also there in the board, Ms. Rita Shah, as well as other three independent directors, as you can see there. Now, the important aspect is how we are going to move ahead is with the Greenfield project, which has been actualized in FY21, that is with oncology. A brief about the oncology: it is a research-driven API integrated finished formulation unit, around 10 kilometers from the existing facility what we are having. There we have the analytical development lab, finished formulation development lab, R&D, F&D, and ADL, what we normally call. Then we have the oral solid development or oral solid manufacturing unit. Apart from that, injectable manufacturing unit, as well as the backward integration of active pharmaceutical ingredient. Again, we call it API for oncology product manufacturing unit. So it is a fully vertically integrated unit, where we will start from the research and development till the finished formulation supplies to all of our clients as well as our export markets. So that is how the overall plan has been shaped up in the last 3 years. We have already grabbed one development project from Europe. We are in the process of developing one oncology product which ranks among top 7 in the overall, which a patented molecule marketed by 2 companies. That molecule is getting developed in our facility in coordination with our counterpart from Europe. So that is one of the big milestone what we have achieved. Apart from that, you can see what is the project cost. It is 194 crore, out of which debt funding has been raised of 95 CR through Techno-Commercial Economic Viability Report received from JITCO, which has supported the bank to go for that debt. As well as there is 2 times the equity funding has been raised, and rest is the internal accruals and promoters funding. So this is how the overall funding has been done for the unit. This is the front of the unit, you can see, and how the positioning of oncology has been done, because that is one of the question, that why oncology. And I was happy to hear that the presenter before me was telling it was the entry barrier. Yes, this is the entry barrier segment which we are dealing with also in healthcare segment. Very few players in India are moving into this oncology segment because of the high entry barrier. And that is the reason you will find either they are manufacturing only oral solid or liquid, and not into this vast or width of the oncology segment which we are into. So that is one of the factor. Second is that we want to foray into, or we want to leverage our existing relationship what we are having with our partners in the 60 plus countries where we are already in. Because these are lessly traveled countries, because all the multinationals who are into oncology, because they afford to go into and they dare to go into, they are mostly into the US market. Leaving aside this ROW market, which is we consider as one of our domain to venture into. So that is how the positioning of the oncology products, because we have already discussed with our partners who are there sitting there with the 17 and operating partners, as well as who are the prospective partners. And as I already mentioned, we have already started with one project. Another declaration has been done, I feel 1 or 2 days before in the NSE platform, that we have already entered into an agreement with Zydus Life Sciences, that is Cadila Healthcare, that we will be manufacturing around 2022 products of theirs in our oncology facility, that is in the oral solid dosage form. So these are certain breakthroughs what we are getting in the initial level. The plant has already received the WHO approval, manufacturing licenses, so that we can execute these functions or operations or manufacturing. Now the plant, the oncology plant follows the 12 principles of green chemistry, because this is very essential nowadays, how you are maintaining all these things. And in order to ensure that, we have collected or gathered or evaluated the equipments or the machineries from across the world, which also has been listed on the left-hand side if you see. The VaporTech R series equipment from UK, this is the flow chemistry technique which is used in the research and development lab. All the multinationals and the US FDA plants generally have this type of equipments. Glass-lined reactors are from Italy, Dedetrich. OSD containment and granulation line, again, GIA from Belgium is the #1 in this segment. So that has been installed. GLAD autocoater has come from Germany. Tablet capsule inspection machine has come from Slovenia. Sensan is the company. Sterile manufacturing line from lyophilized Toflon is in process. They have dispatched it from China. We are about to receive it in a week's time. Kevin roll compactor and bulk machine packaging line from IMA, Germany. Just to summarize this, oral solid research unit, API unit have received the licenses and approval, and we are already in operation. The injectable line will be operational by March 2023. This is a little bit about the oncology scenario, why we are into oncology. The CAGR of 10.2%. You will find the third bullet on the first column, 20% of the global pharmaceutical sales account to oncology. All top 10, first point on the second column, top 10 pharmaceutical companies in the world are invested in oncology. So these are certain powerful statements or facts which are at the back of our mind when we went into this. And you can see on the right hand side, these are the top 7 molecules who contributes more than $5 billion. So these are certain things which has triggered us into coming into this business. Now, as I already mentioned, certain points in this already The major players are focused mainly on the regulated market like US. So we want to tap the market, ROW market. Now, off-patent molecules are coming up very fast. So we, in order to cope up with that, we also need to develop our competencies. So that is the Indian competencies what we want to develop: API, finished formulation, as well as R&D. And you can see certain picture so that it will give you more of that. That is the Vaportech R series picture on the top. GIA Belgium equipment, all wall mountable containment facility, because this is cytotoxic. Anybody who is manufacturing, it is harmful for the person, so it has to be all contained, or it should be protected. In normal companies who are our, who will find in Indian context, or our competitors, maybe they are having the isolators instead of that, which is like a box covering that particular manufacturing area. Now, key strengths now overall, if I consider the company, diverse product portfolio with geographies, customer and therapeutic areas with multi-end users. Then we have the entry into the regulated market of Europe and APAC with the European GMP approval with our liquid and lyophilized injection unit that I have already mentioned. Now we have 200 plus marketing authorization under pipeline, because these are the dossiers which has been submitted to the regulatory authorities in 60 plus countries. An end-to-end solution for vertically integrated oncology unit. So that is one of the powerful things which is gearing up means our business in the coming maybe 3-4 years time. And obviously the know-hows what we have developed for the ROW market for the last maybe a decade or more has already given us the momentum, and particularly with shutdowns with China in terms of APIs and other procurements from the finished formulation, that will gear up or help us in that overall thing. This is a slide on the revenue on the operations. You can see the CAGR as well as a growth of 25% on the revenue. On the profitability part, it is 24% and 36% on the CAGR part. The balance sheet ratios are also there. I have time. I feel, yeah. So you can see there is a healthy or robust growth year over year in terms of registrations coming in from the export market, business model shifting from the earlier CMO model to CDMO and export model. So accordingly, that is getting reflected in the revenue as well as the EBITDA as well as the PAT margin. So that is what this overall thing is, means product mix as well as geographies diversification is helping us. I feel I tried to cover as fast as possible, but if there is anything I have left out, yeah, I will be happy to answer. Yeah.
So because the EBITDA margin is 23, so I wasn't sure how your PAT margin is 22.
So it is, yeah, it's 22 only.
Okay.
Sir, just one question. This side.
Yeah.
One question. So, sir, you have a new greenfield project of 195 crore. So, what kind of asset turnover you are predicting for that, and what kind of margin, the operating margin, we can have from that?
For oncology, you are asking about, right?
So, yes. So, the entire 194 crore of greenfield project which you have.
Yeah. The asset turnover is normally around 1:3, what we are looking forward to for oncology. That is what we are, means what we have analyzed. And regarding this, the second question you have asked?
Operating margin?
The EBITDA margin will be not less than 30% for the to start with, but with API supporting, because that is the integration what we are looking forward to. The EBITDA will be exceeding 35% that we are planning.
So you are saying if the project cost is 194 crore and you are saying 3 times will be the ATO, so you will have 600 crore on the top line?
Right. So that is what is our vision coming maybe for the next 5 years.
So, if I have to ask you for next 5 years, because I didn't expect the entire 3x turnover is going to live from the day one or the first year. So, for next 3 years, what kind of revenue projections do we have?
See, I can't exactly tell you the projection, but whatever I can tell you is the Vision 500 is what we are looking for financial year 26. So that is both the plants put together. Obviously, the current plant will not be gearing up the revenue to that extent. So maximum out of it, around 60-65% will be coming from the oncology unit.
Thank you.
Sir, what could be the free cash flows of the company? I'm asking this because of two reasons. One is you have 128 crore revenue spread across the top 10. You supply to the top 10 Indian companies. Indian companies with 1,000 crore revenue do margins of 20-22% EBITDA. If I split your 128 crores into 10 customers, average you are supplying 12-15 crore revenue to one customer, still doing 24% EBITDA margin with very low ROC, ROE of 10-12%. Just wanted to know, in spite of having 20 to 24% EBITDA margin, how come the ROC, ROE is so low? And if you can just share some free cash flow figures for the last 3 years. Thanks.
Yeah. One of the fact about what I would like to mention here is around 77% of our business is in export, which we normally do post recovering the money. So there is no basically outstanding amount remaining at any point of time. Either it is LC or it is advance. So that is number one. Now coming back to your question, still there is maybe some outstanding days or maybe something is there which may be flashing. So that is because of the domestic players what you have mentioned. Because at times, because of the relation what we enjoy with Torrent Pharmaceutical or Zydus, which we have seen a few minutes back. So those companies, because of the relation, we need to give a few maybe weeks or maybe few months outstanding, and that's why the outstanding days used to come up. But because of that quantum of business not being significant enough, so the cash flow requirement will be, or cash flow figures will not be so much. It would be around 5 to 6 CR what you will see from time to time.
So, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. So my question was around the lyophilized revenues that has grown. So it's gone from almost 9 lakhs to 13 lakhs to 9 crores or something like that over 5 years. So where have we seen this phenomenal growth? And we are still operating at about, I think, 55% capacity in that block. And even like one of your peers is also coming up with a large capacity on lyophilized. So how do you see growth in this segment, and what are the reasons, few reasons for this growth?
You are talking about lyophilized?
Yeah, lyophilized vials that we have grown.
Right. Because you will find very few players again with the lyophilized technology in India. Right. And the advantage of our lyophilized unit is that is European GMP approved. So once it is European GMP approved, the product is getting a premium price in the market, whether it is going to Thailand, whether it is going to Nigeria in Africa. So that is one of the key benefit what we used to get, as well as our counterpart who is sitting there is used to getting it. So that is first part of it. And second thing is that lyophilizer works with timing, means 24-hour cycle, 36-hour cycle, like that. So if once we are reaching 100%, we can move ahead with the second lyophilizer even. So that will not be a bar for the general or the unit which we are talking about. Now, second thing, coming back to your point, understanding this lyophilizer is or lyophilized product is the future. We are installing 2 lyophilizers for our oncology unit. One is 10 meters square, one is 5 meters square. So both are coming with, both have already arrived. Only the line setup is pending for Teflon. So you are absolutely right. Freeze drying product considered as a techno-rich product, which will be of high demand in the near future. And so we are tapping that. If required, we will go for another lyophilizer in the existing plant once the capacity gets filled up.
You said the demand is very high for the near future.
Right.
Can you give few reasons for that? Why is lyophilized in so much of demand?
It's a freeze dry. Just I told you, means just to understand for everyone, if you heat something, the water vaporizes. That is the normal principle. For a lyophilizer, it is freeze dried. You are freezing it to minus 20, minus 30 degrees centigrade, and then the water goes off, or the diluent goes off. and thereby you are preparing a cake form. So the thing is that this can't be done in any equipment. So you need a lyophilizer for that. And a lyophilizer is in crores, means around 8 to 10, 12 crores depending upon the size. So everybody will not be interested in putting or installing that. And apart from that, I told you it is attached with the sterile line. So sterile, maintaining the aseptic condition as per regulatory guideline is again a challenge. So these are certain factors which are triggering for lyophilizers, or lyophilized products are less in the market. But the demand is growing because of the nature of the product. It gives efficacy, it gives the more of stability to the product. Most of the protein preparation, if you see in the market, are lyophilized because of that. We have products, the proton pump inhibitors like rabeprazole, pantoprazole, omeprazole, esomeprazole, like that, acyclovir, vancomycin. So these products are prepared in the lyophilizer.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? You answered all the questions. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I request Rahul Dhruv of Pegasus Capital? Sir,